up, y'all? LocsNLoad Firearm Reviews here today. Today, I got another educational video for you guys, kind of based off the events going on in the world today, especially in America. Well, we know Wisconsin happened. We saw the dude who got shot in the arm, so the topic's really been on medical equipment. Last couple videos, I talked about the tourniquets, how to use it, my favorite tourniquets. So today's video, I'm gonna talk about what you should have in an IFAK and what I have. Some of the things you can use and how to use them. Again, I'm not a medical expert. I have a little bit of medical training, so I'm just giving you what I know. But I still implore you guys to reach out to people like Doc Steele or Taylor Defense and get that real medical training from real experts. All right, so we're gonna step into it. One of the first things you need in a medical kit is the tourniquet. Whether it be a CAT T tourniquet, a SWAT T tourniquet, a soft T wide, just make sure it is a real, legit tourniquet and it is recommended for actual use. There's a certain list of tourniquets you can go find. I think you go like North American Rescue and find those recommended tourniquets that are used by professionals. So you want to have a tourniquet in there. All right, another thing you need to have is some gloves. I prefer some kind of colored ones, not black. Black does not show blood. So something like this, a light blue or white, those are more preferred for medical use or treating somebody, because nowadays you don't know what people have, in their blood system, so you don't want to get that in your system, so you want to protect yourself. All right, next, another important thing. Chest seal. This is Hyphen's chest seals. You can also get Halo chest seals. What chest seals do, like the name, they seal the chest. You take it around to the chest, you have a sucking chest wound, well, you're gonna have to cover that hole up. So you use the chest seal, cover up that wound. And a lot of times with bullets, if there's an entry wound, there's an exit wound. And so that's why you wanna have two chest seals. One for the entry wound and one for the exit wound. Like I said, these are Hyphen chest seals. These are vented, so you can let some blood drain off to the side if you need so. But you need to have two chest seals, not one. And so that is what you need in an IFAK. The chest seal to seal the airway, so that they don't fucking choke on their own blood and die. All right, next, since we're talking about airway, you're gonna need one of these. This is what we call a nasal pharyngetic airway. I probably said it wrong, but oh well. This little thing right here goes down into your nose, down into your throat. Does not feel good. They got a little bit of lube in here to make it go down a little easier. But this is to help open up that airway, so if the patient's having trouble breathing, this can hopefully help assist with that. Another needed item in your medical equipment. All right, so stopping the bleed. We have two things here. Both are quick clot, but they're kind of different. This quick clot is cheaper, but it's more of a powder. So you get an open wound, you open it and you pour the powder on the wound. It's supposed to coagulate, I think I'm saying it right, all the blood, so it stops it from bleeding. This is the old school stuff. Again, it's the powder. It's better than nothing, but like if you have a real heavy bleeder, this powder is not gonna stop the bleed. It's just as you pour it on the wound, it's just gonna flow off. So I'm a big fan of, and also these have been known to burn people. I guess it's better to be burned than to bleed out and die. But what I recommend is you get this quick clot combat gauze. What this is it's basically gauze, just normal gauze, but it's soaked in hemostatic agent. So as you put all the gauze into the wound, the hemostatic agent is going to stop the bleeding also. So I really like this versus the quick clot powder, because it's going to work a lot better on stopping the bleed versus this little powder. All right, if you don't have that fancy stuff, you can just use regular compressed gauze. It's not going to have the hemostatic agent in it, but it's still, if you pack enough in there, you can still stop the bleed if it's not too big. Another thing to stop the bleed or for a major wound is an emergency bandage. You take this out, wrap it around the wound, cover the wound. Hopefully it stops the bleeding. You can also use it as a makeshift tourniquet in certain situations if you don't have a real tourniquet. What also a lot of people do, if they can't get the fancy bandages that has like the wrap and the gauze in it, what a lot of old school methods people will do will just take compressed gauze and an ace wrap, which basically will do the same thing as this emergency bandage. Just an old school way of doing things. And then you're gonna want some shears. If someone has, let's say, a gunshot wound to the leg, you're gonna have to get that clothing up off them. So you're gonna need the shears. Clothes come off, and you can get to the wound and start working on your patient. Band-aids. Always recommended to have band-aids in your IFAK. Shit happens, and you don't always need a tourniquet, but you get those little cuts at the range, especially if you're doing malfunctions and racking shit. So band-aids are always nice to have in your medical kit. All right, so that is the stuff that you need to have at the very least. Again, I'm not a medical expert, so people are gonna have other things in their kit, but at the very least, those items is what you need. All right, other things you can have in there if you want, you have a triangle bandage. Basically, you break your arm, you take that triangle bandage, wrap your arm, you get like a little sling going on. If you have room in your medical kit, it's something you can add. Emergency action card. If you put it in there, it helps you, really gives you the step-by-step little guide on what to do if you're having like an emergency situation. As you see, this talks about airway, breathing, circulation, etc. So little steps that help you out. Another thing I like to have, especially when I have a medical kit, not necessarily for emergency like gunshot wounds or stuff, but like if I'm with like a bunch of doing security at an event and there's like a little kids always somehow to get hurt, always cut themselves. So it's always nice to have some antiseptic little towelettes. So when they get the little cuts, take the towelette, wipe the cut off, then you give them one little band-aids, and then they're off running around happy again. Another thing you can also use is some burn gel. Again, this isn't like a tourniquet life-saving stuff, but something you should keep in a medical kit, because we be shooting these guns a lot. All it takes is one slip of the hand and you grab a hot barrel, and now your hand's burnt, and now burn gel. And also another thing, if you really get burnt, this is a burn dressing. So if someone gets, like again, let's say you're shooting suppressors with your homeboys, you put the hot gun up on the rack, it falls, now you burnt the shit out of your arm. When that suppressor hits your arm, burn dressing. And another thing I like to keep is some tape. Whether it's duct tape or whether you got some, I think this is frog tape, like medical tape. Just something you can use to help in your medical situations. Like if you don't have a chest seal, let's say you got like some Ziploc bags, you can put those Ziploc bags over the wound, take your tape it off, and now you got yourself like a ghetto chest seal, but it still will work, So that's what I have. Well, that's what I recommend for you guys in a medical kit. Again, other people will recommend other things. Now, Locs, where can I get a med kit to hold all this shit? Well, this one I got off Amazon. I have one here. Now I've had one on my battle belt, as you guys can see. Ooh, I want to say for like a year or so, probably a little bit more than a year. But I really like these because they got the molly backer on here, so you can either molly it to your vest or molly it to a battle belt. So once you have it mollied on, it's got the buckle. If you need it, hit the buckle, and then the whole pouch will separate from whatever you got from your battle belt or your vest, and now you have all your medical kit right here in your hands, and you can use it if you need to. And when you're done with it, you can put it back on your Velcro, on your vest, on your belt, wherever you want it, whether it be a backpack, wherever. Take the buckle it, and now you have your med kit again. So guys, that is my little educational video for what you should have in a med kit. Again, there are experts out there who have their recommendations of things. This is what I recommend. And, you know, again, like I said, get some more real training from people like Doc Steele or Tailored Defense. And there's others out there that do TCCC classes or just emergency classes for gunshot wounds, or not even gunshot wounds, like one of your family members cut themselves by cooking and now they need a tourniquet, or now they need a bandage because it's a deep wound. Things like that. Things happen in life and we got to be prepared for it. So hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you learned something. If you're looking for medical equipment, again, Doc Steele, Tailored Defense, they sell real medical equipment. If you're looking to build your kit, I recommend North American Rescue if you're gonna pick pieces. They do sell on Amazon, but be careful and make sure it's coming from a recommended dealer like North American Rescue before you buy it. You don't want to buy bullshit and put your life on the line with some bullshit. All right, I think that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Waganda, LocsNLoad out.